Welcome to some essay help. Shuit05 sent me a message that said, "Hey T. Brent, I was just wondering if you could help me out with the story Animal Farm, which I have recorded. I am writing an essay and it is on what makes Boxer the hero of Animal Farm. I was just wondering if you could help me with starting it with an introduction paragraph." Easy enough to do. In fact, we're going to talk about that a little bit as we go through it. Now, really what you want to do when we start off talking about writing an intro for an essay, you kind of have to know where your essay is going. So the last sentence in the introduction is going to be your thesis, right? That's going to be the last sentence. So we're going to kind of work backwards through this. So number one, you have to know, well, what made Boxer the hero of Animal Farm? Was it his constant positive attitude? Was it his perseverance and always wanting to work harder regardless of the situation that came along? You have to decide, number one, how many body paragraphs am I going to do? And if I'm going to say I want 3 body paragraphs, then I need 3 characteristics that make him a hero. If I want to say, 2 characteristics, I'll be doing 2 body paragraphs. So we want the thesis. We want to know where this essay is going. So you could say something along the lines of, Boxer is the hero of Animal Farm due to his perseverance despite facing difficult obstacles and his positive attitude regardless of setbacks. All right, so there's different things you could say for the intro for Boxer as to what made him the hero. But let's just say good enough. All right, that's going to be our thesis. That's a 2-body paragraph because I'm saying he has perseverance and a positive attitude. All right, you want to then go up and we're going to work backwards. So the middle of the intro has to introduce Animal Farm. So something like in George Orwell's Animal Farm, comma, and of course it is a title of a book, of a novel. You got to italicize that bad boy like so. And then you got to introduce some of the background, what's going on. Boxer is. So you got to give me a little bit of information about that horse. He's a big horse. Is totally behind the revolution of the animals and, labors to see its goals come to fruition. Something along those lines, right? You have to say something about who Boxer is and what's his role in Animal Farm and what's going on in the farm in general. So the second sentence here is going to introduce the book, the author, and kind of the basic plot that involves Boxer. All right? So that brings us then to how do we start this introductory paragraph. We need to kind of come into the theme. Well, the theme here is being a hero. So you could just do a general sentence about what makes a hero, why are heroes important, why are they inspirational, something like that. You just come up with your own sentence. Or you could type in like hero quotes on Google, and that's what I did, and I found brainyquote.com. And you can just go ahead and look at that. And this first page here gives me all kinds of quotes for hero. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. Joseph Campbell. A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. That one kind of fits. Christopher Reeve was the first, not the first Superman, but he was a Superman character who played, he was an actor who played Superman, and he actually broke his neck and was paralyzed in a horseback riding accident, and bravely faced his horrible accident and the consequences of that. Anyway, that might be a good one. However, the only issue with this one is I've used the word persevere, and I think I've used obstacles as well. Let's double check that. Difficult obstacles, perseverance. So I've used some of these already, and therefore I'd have to change up some of my vocabulary because I don't want to seem like I'm just restating the quote that I found. So what you would do in this case, right, is you would copy down that quote or you'd type it in. One of the things about copying and pasting something like this, well, number one, we have to say we have to attribute this to Christopher Reeve. But number 2, when you copy and paste something from the internet like this, even when you're attributing it, which you should always document your sources, right? You don't want to be plagiarism bound, because that could get you in serious trouble. You want to make sure that you match the font to the rest of your paper, right? You don't want your font to match, you don't want your font to be a mismatch, because then when you print it out, it totally sticks out like a sore thumb, and the teacher's like, "Whoa, where'd you get this?" So you make sure all your fonts match, right? In this case, though, you would put this in quotes. A hero is an ordinary individual, and then you'll put at the end of that Christopher Reeve. You want to attribute that to him. Once you have that quote in there, right, you can then say something about Christopher Reeve or something about why his quote is valid about being a hero. All right, so once we have that in there, and let's just say we did that, copy, we're going to use his quote right there because it is amazing, right? So, bam, right there. Christopher Reeve. Quote that sucker right there. Right? We want it to match. I'm using Cambria 20 just for y'all to see this. So we're just going to make sure it matches. All right, 20. Cambria. Bam. Okay. And then I might have my little sentence here about being a hero. Hero is not always, right? Because it says an ordinary individual. And so I'm going to finish that thought. That's how I would tackle a prompt like this for an introductory paragraph. Okay, so remember, decide where you're going with your MT, write out your thesis. Main thesis is what MT stands for. Then you do your middle sentence there where you introduce the novel and the character you're going to be talking about, a little bit of background, and then you have to come into what you're going to be talking about as your first sentence. All right, so hopefully that was helpful, and that you can apply this advice to many of the prompts you might have that deal with a character analysis essay. All right, I also have another generic introductory video for introductory paragraphs and a body paragraph video as well as a conclusion. So check those out if you need help along those lines.